Think of the last song you listened to. Now imagine the melody. Many of you imagined a wide variety of things. Everyone imagines music in different ways, but all music can be written into a standardized language. In this speech, I'll tell you how to read the standardized language. Understanding written music seems like a useless skill unless you play an instrument. But if you're ever asked to sing something, it'll most likely have music notes written above the music to help you sing it. I personally have been playing instruments since I was 7. I've played piano, guitar, and even some percussion instruments. This has given me time to learn most things about written music so I can explain the basic to others. During this speech, I'm going to explain the music notes, the music staff, and how to take those and play it on a piano. I'll begin by explaining music notes and their importance. Notes look different depending on their lengths. All music notes will fit into measures. Measures are divided by the lines here on the staff. A measure generally equals 1, and that will help you make sense of note names. The most common notes are whole note, half note, quarter note, and eighth note. The whole note will take up a full measure, while a quarter note will only take up 1/4 of the measure. Measures must always equal to 1, whether that be 1 half note and 2 quarter notes, or 2 quarter notes and 4 eighth notes. They always have to equal 1. So we'll begin by explaining what each note looks like. This is a whole note. It's just a circle, and you'll see it on each staff, and it's this long. This is a half note. It's half length of a whole note, and it looks like a whole note with a line on it, and it's this long. Next is the quarter note. It's a half note, but filled in, and it's this long. And finally, there's an eighth note, and that's a quarter note with a tail on it, and it's this long. Now, most music is connected, has connected eighth notes instead of a single one, as they usually come in pairs. So they'll end up looking like this. They're the exact same thing, except they're just two connected, and that's just how music's written. And all these notes can get shorter. As you can see on the chart here, there's a 16th note, and it has 2 tails or 2 lines here. It can go even further than that with a 32nd note and a 64th note. And as you do that, it just adds more tails or more lines to the written music. Usually you won't find music written with anything shorter than a 16th note, but every once in a while a song will have one of those. Notes can also be written as rests. And here you'll see the rests for each length. This is a whole rest, half rest, quarter. Quarter looks a lot more unique than these two, and then eighth and 16th. These are the same as a note, except for instead of playing a sound at that time, you'll go silent for that long. Now that note lengths are explained, the pitch of each note must be represented. To represent pitch, the music staff is used. The piano uses the full or grand staff. It uses the treble and the bass clef. Now most instruments don't use the full grand staff because they're either all high or all low notes. So such instruments that will only use bass clef are the tuba and the bass guitar, while instruments that will only use the treble clef are the flute and the violin. According to an article posted on September 22nd, 2017 by Instructables, there are notes in each line and space in both treble and bass clef. The lines and the spaces on this staff represent a pitch. So the space here is a different note from this line up here. And those each represent different notes that will be played. On the piano, it's the same thing. The keys are each a line and a space. So this might be a line, and this will be the space right above it. And as you go up the piano to the right, you'll go up on the staff. An article posted on December 29, 2017 by Elin Nyberg in the University of Stavanger reports the most popular piano methods for beginners are, on the other hand, usually based on using single notes as commands to the fingers on which keys to press. I personally don't think this is the best way to do it, because you learn what finger to do with each note, but then as songs get more complicated, you have to relearn how to play an instrument. So the better way to learn is to attribute each note with a letter. So when you're looking at the piano, you'll see 3 black keys in a group and 2 black keys in a group. When you're looking at the 2 black keys, the note to the white key to the left is always the letter C. And as you go to the right, you'll go D, E, F, G. You'll stop at G and then go back to A. And this goes all the way up the piano and down. And that's how you tell the pitch, is with letters. Pitch and length will help you understand how to play on an instrument. And the best way to show that is with the C scale. The C scale requires the player to play from one C right here to this C and then back. This is a good way to learn what each note is with each letter. So I'll show you how to play it and how it sounds. So you start on C and you go up. It seems pretty simple, but it is a great way to get your mind thinking about what each note is and their letters. Now you know how to read music and how it applies to an instrument such as the piano. And now when you think back to the song I told you to imagine at the beginning, you can imagine it in a way that others understand. You'll hear the notes go up and go back down. You'll know what types of notes they are, whether it be the whole note or the 8th note. And this is like taking multiple different languages into one that everyone can understand.